Hello, and welcome to another tale plucked right off the shelves at the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I'm your reliable host Lothran, and there's ever so much more to relay. So let's get right to it, shall we? Go grab a filling meal, settle into a comfy spot, and pay explicit attention to Fleet Part 12, Upkeep. Hello and welcome. My name is Cam Novir. You were all Daramore engineer candidates of various skills until you stepped out of the transport and into the main hangar of Gregari One. Now, each of you will be tested. As you can hear, we're currently undergoing a serious amount of repairs and retrofittings, but we are still ahead of schedule. The ship all of you walked around upon entry is a reworked support corvette called a Diligent. A lucky few of you will be called away shortly to help rebuild it for a third trial. I selected each of you for your potential, but also your creative solutions to similar problems all of us already faced. I'm speaking of your trial by fire and my own. Only all of you failed that trial in some small or major way. Recently, based upon what I learned from those many failures, I invented a much more responsive tool than any designed before it in history. The rest of the crew in these parts have begun calling them Fix. You will need one before you get to work. Cam opened up a crate on a nearby table. Ramrath, Jayar, and Linth, step forward to retrieve your tool and hip holster. The three engineers made their way to the front of the orientation, taking up their new devices. You are those lucky three, Cam informed them softly, but then hardened his expression. I scored the three of you the highest in my own personal rating system. I expect nothing but the most absolute excellence from each of you. Report to Rill in the hangar for duty assignments. The rest of you pick up the crate and follow me. Cam led them through the many stark gray corridors of Gregari One's interior. Halt here. To my left is concept and development. Those assigned to this station will be required to invent and reinvent constantly. You'll work long hours and reshape the very core of what and how the entire Daramore fleet operates and functions. I expect almost as much from you as the first group. Estok, Yethrag, Tivor, Istamir, Vozan. Take your fix and report to Temporary Liaison Archivist Vildar for proper assignment. Cam quickly wound the rest of the group hastily through an offshoot corridor and down several flights of stairs, hearing them wince and whine as they struggled to keep pace behind him. They arrived at an all too familiar room, the spot where he and Rill had created the first fic. This is main engineering, the heart of the station, and our very lifeblood. We have life support, ventilation, water supply, sewage, and main power already functioning at tolerable levels. To those that have been chosen to work here, your jobs will not seem glamorous, and oftentimes they will be the most thankless and grimy any of the other professions on this base can offer up. But rest assured, each of you will play a vital role in providing the station, and the many that will come after it, with the necessary tools to expand further and faster than any previous advancement in Daramore's great history. Gillage, Rethary, Beauville, Mizal, Kevorth, Wintru, Vivenna, Ketora, Illyria, Pidarath, Greth, and Ujiro. Take your fix and report to Lotem, Chief of Engineering, for your new roles. The rest of you follow me. Cam wound deeper into the bowels of Gregari One, ever further into the large moon the base had been drilled and carved into so very long ago. In this room to our right, my sister Kath has taken up residence. I know all of you have heard stories that she's a horrible, bloodthirsty, brooding bitch of a monster. I'll have each of you know those stories are very true. Kath laughed from within her chosen weapons and armor workshop. Aitan, Kigara, Liata, Vilevan. Here, under my sister's expert guidance, you will craft ever more resilient armor, and by each implementation, all the more devastating weaponry. And watch out, Kath does have a tendency to bite. Kath laughed again from within her remorseless cave. And that leaves only you, Mira. Leave the crate. The young female engineer put down the box she'd just picked up, hurrying to follow in her commander's footsteps. It took them nearly an hour of further walking to reach the incredibly uncomfortably hot and humid furthest depths of the original research station. She looked around at the random crates and old bits of jumbled parts and spare tables scattered about a truly massive cavern stretching off seemingly into infinity. I take it this is my punishment, she asked, not wanting to bring up what she'd had thrown in her face 1,000 times already. On the contrary, I consider this your reward, Cam replied, pulling out a chair and placing himself in it rather casually. We're about the same age, you know, you and I, only about 2 years difference. Did you know that? He asked of her as coolly as he'd ever spoken anything that had fallen out of his face. No, sir, I did not. Relax for now. We both know why you're here. During the power phase of Thazon's trials, you built a single-core ship, one designed to fly low to the ground, with a small seat and a sniping laser rifle. Quite ingenious of you. You had the advantage of not being watched by experts in the field of weaponry, such as my sister, and the gall to hop on halfway through the trial and rocket off into the history books. But you killed a squad of soldiers in the escape attempt, and ever since you've been on everyone's blacklist. Until I came along, you were rotting in a cell awaiting trial for treason. That about sum everything up? What do you want, sir? She wiped rivers of sweat from the side of her face. You will farm for me. Farming? You saved me from the firing squad to make me a farmer? No offense, but if you wanted that, I'm sure you could have. Silence! Cam shouted. I know Daramore has more than its fair share of farmers. It's an empire, after all. I don't need one farmer. I need the most creative farmer in all Jakul history. This is a Digra fungal pod. He held one up for her to look at. They're necessary for creating fix, and very likely the oil produced from them will have millions of other interesting applications. Records on this station indicated that these caves were once used to cultivate these spores. I need you to get it all back into that operation, out of the cold, dark depths of fate, and provide me with as many Digra spore pods as all the farmers in the entire Daramore Empire could ever produce. I don't know anything about farming, sir. Hydroponics, automation, lighting, temperature controls, filtration systems, power, transportation, harvest. All of these are engineering solutions you will figure out during your stay here. Or, if I don't, are you going to shoot me if I don't comply? No, I will not shoot you. I have better things to do with my time. But if you want to lay about and whine all the time, how you don't know what you're doing for a solid month, that is when the first contingent of Daramore troops from the Sildarum front will arrive. And I'm very sure any number of those veterans will be more than pleasantly pleased to kill a traitor to the Empire such as yourself. If you have no further complaints or comments, good. I'll check your progress tomorrow. Get to work, Marajide. Mara watched Cam leave her to the empty gloom. You've really gone and fucked yourself hard this time, haven't you, Mara? She commented to herself as she fell despondently into the chair that Cam's warmth still occupied. And so it is. Our time together has once more come to its end. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I the telling of it. As always, I've been your sincere host, Lothran, and this was Fleet Part 12, Upkeep. Another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. And now, we must part ways once again. Korvoth, guide them back along the proper path, back to the safety they know all too well.
Yes, sir, Lothran. Oh, such excellent threads to follow in tonight's tale, aren't they? Oh, now my job. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave all your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. Don't you let me catch any of you leaving any of that awful rude or mean stuff, though. You keep that foolishness to yourself. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. And don't forget, we strongly implore each and every one of you to do your absolute utmost to stay safe out there. Excuse me. To stay safe out there. Got something in my throat. Good night and good luck, everybody. You'll need it. See you again tomorrow for Fleet Part 13. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. See you again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.